What's up, guys? It's your boy Cam, and I am here with another video. I am here with episode 7 NXT Inferno, so let's get into it. We kick off the show with a 90 rating. You can't ask for any better than that. So Kamiko Asahara is in the ring, and we said that last week we'll explain why she's here in NXT. And she starts off the show with the spotlight on her. Everything's dark except the spotlight that is on her. Kamiko says she came to NXT for one reason, and that reason is Io Shirai. Io Shirai, just like everybody's confused, so she comes out and Io asks Kamiko, what does she mean? Kamiko tells her that she meant that she was sent here to help Io. Io is just as confused as everyone. Kamiko says she will protect Io because it's her job and it's her duty. Kamiko leaves the ring and Io Shirai asks her one more time, who is her? Kamiko turns to the entrance ramp and turns towards Io, and she just gives her a wink. So Kamiko Asahara is here in NXT because she's here to help Io Shirai, and she sent her. Who is she? And who is this her that Kamiko Asahara is talking about? Very interesting. Speaking of very interesting, this was a good match. In a decent match, Tenille Dashwood defeated Indy Hartwell in 15-18 by pinfall with the Roaring Elbow. So Tenille 73, Indy Hartwell, would I like to see some improvement? 38. 63, pretty good rating. 52. So Ace Austin's with Jake Something, and he's interviewed by Kathy Kelly. I got to put it on screen. Ace Austin cuts Kathy off before she can speak, and he says, yes, they meant to sucker punch those dweebs sitting at ringside. Ace said they needed to remind everyone after their losses at TakeOver that they still run the show and they will not be booed by these wannabe cool kids. Mark Andrews steps into frame, and he tells Ace that he's nothing without Jake Something and mentions that without him, Ace lost at TakeOver. Ace cracks a cocky smile knowing that he just got one-upped by Mark Andrews, and he just tells Jake Something to go ahead and handle his light work. So Jake Something hoists Mark Andrews up, but he's hit out of nowhere with a steel pipe from Morgan Webster, and Morgan Webster hits him in the leg with the steel pipe, and then he cracks Ace in the ribs with it as well. Jake and Ace are down. Mark Andrews says, you and me, Ace, next week. He and Morgan walk away, so Mark Andrews and Morgan Webster get a little bit of revenge on Ace Austin and Jake Something. Good match and a decent match. Dominik Dijakovic defeated Leon Ruff in 10:47 by submission with the ankle lock. Dominik 55, Leon with a very good 46. Speaking of very good, that's a very good angle. Dominik Dijakovic yells in the mic. He says, Keith, you have something I want. You have something that I need. That television championship. We've had our battles over the years, but this is a new, more vicious Dominik Dijakovic. I snap ankles, and I will take that title off your shoulder. What happened to dear old Alex will just be the first step to my path of destruction. Keith Lee comes out, and he tells Dominik that this isn't him. Him snapping ankles, him attacking people, him aligning with Kim Shamrock is not him. He tries to speak sense into Dominik, but it's not resonating. Ken Shamrock, tired of all this, he grabs the mic from Keith Lee, and he says, all this best friend crap is futile. You know what we want. Give it to us soon or else. So Ken Shamrock and Dominik Dijakovic leave the ring while Keith Lee's just contemplating at this point. So he's both confused and contemplating what is going on with Dominik Dijakovic. And we now know that Dominik wants the NXT Television Championship. 68, okay, pretty good. Tegan Knox and Jordynne Grace walks into William Regal's office. They want to know the status for the NXT Women's Championship. Regal says both women have been impressive, but he hasn't decided on it. Tegan and Grace are frustrated by this because they've both been on a little bit of winning streaks as of late. And Regal says, I do have a proposition. If you two women win in a tag team match here tonight, you'll face each other next week in the number one contenders match. Tegan and Grace are happy, but Regal says, hold on, not so fast. He brings out Riho and Layla Hirsch. He says that these two will be your opponents for your match, which is coming up shortly. So Tegan and Jordynne could have a shot at Mayu, but they have to win in a tag team match to beat Riho and Layla Hirsch. I know some people are going to say man, why are they teaming up? This is not how it is in WWE, where the challenger and contender have to team up against each other, or team up with each other against two other people for no reason. This is for a reason. Tegan and Jordan have to team up to get a shot at Mayu. So they have to team up for a common goal, and that is for the NXT Women's Championship. And Riho and Layla Hirsch, I got from Stardom. If I didn't tell you, I bought Stardom. So Riho is from Stardom, and Layla Hirsch is from Stardom as well. So I brought them up to have a good match between Tegan and Jordan Grace. And about that good heat and decent wrestling, Santos Escobar defeated Chris Sabin in 15:29 by pinfall with the bridging German suplex. Santos 57, Chris Sabin 66. So Santos Escobar with a very important win over Chris Sabin. Ooh, man, that was gonna be better. Still good rating. Santos says Adam Cole can't carry the brand with a hurt shoulder. He says, oh well, I guess I'll be doing what I've always done and carry this brand into the promised land. Santos tells Adam that last week was a warning to not get in my way. And Adam Cole comes out with his arm in a sling. Adam tells Santos, last week you did get the jump on him, but what about one-on-one without Legado del Fantasma? He says, me, Adam Cole, versus Santos Escobar, one-on-one at TakeOver. The winner gets to call themselves the true face of the brand. Santos accepts Adam's challenge, and he says, I'll see you at TakeOver if you make it. So Adam Cole throwing down the gauntlet to Santos, and Santos basically accepted the challenge. So we have our first match really confirmed. Well, I won't say confirmed, but the card is kind of shaping up. So Adam Cole versus Santos Escobar. 71. After the commercial break, we see a video of Grizzled Young Veterans giving Chris Sabin a ticket to Mayhem after his match against Santos. Alex Shelley comes out, but GYV escaped through the ring, and when they're caught on camera backstage, they said last week they were proven true about Motor City Machine Guns. MCMG can't hang in the ring, singles or tag team. That ticket to Mayhem was just them having fun. Zach and Drake pat each other on the back, and they're happy with their work, so they just leave. So Grizzly Young Veterans are saying that Motor City Machine Guns can't handle it in the ring anymore, and it might be true. They lost to MSK, and Chris Sabin just lost to Santos one-on-one, so they can't really win a match right now. So we'll see what happens there. In about that had a decent match, Tegan Nox and Jordan Grace defeated Riho and Layla Hirsch when Tegan Nox pinned Layla Hirsch with the Vulture Culture Destroyer. Tegan Nox 46, Jordan Grace 47, Layla Hirsch 44, and Riho with a great rating of 65. So after a hard-fought match, Tegan and Jordan Grace will face each other next week, and Mayu Iwatani comes out, and she raises her title, and Tegan Nox and Jordan Grace lick at the title, signaling that they are ready for a chance to face Mayu at TakeOver for the NXT Women's Championship. Kushida comes backstage. He comes to Boa and see if he's alright after his attack from Killian Dane. And Boa says he's fine thanks to Kushida. Kushida tells him that Dane was in the wrong attacking him last week, and that won't happen again. So Kushida leaves, but he's attacked by Killian Dane. Killian Dane says, if you get in my business, you get hurt. And Boa tries to help Kushida, but Boa is still nursing those injuries from last week. Dane holds Kushida up and asks if Boa is really worth all that trouble, and he slams Kushida back first through those luggage crates, and Dane tells Kushida to get out of his way. So Killian Dane did not like Kushida getting in his business, which was attacking Boa. So we'll see what happens from there. Dane is on the warpath, and it looks like Kushida's in the crosshairs. Sheesh, this match sucked. But about that, they didn't have much heat and terrible wrestling. Yeah, you could say. Kendrick and Nice defeated Denzel Dejournette and EJ Nunca when Brian Kendrick defeated Denzel Dejournette with the sliced bread, number 2. Tony Nese 44, Brian Kendrick 43, EJ 42, Denzel Dejournette 36. Yeah, this match sucked. But their angle didn't suck too. The angle didn't suck though. So Leo Rush comes out after last week, after he got attacked, and he says, you two bozos made a statement off the name of Leo Rush. And Leo Rush kind of being a little cocky, he said, I know why. because I'm a premier talent here in NXT. But what you did was you disrespected me and my brand. I can't have that. Nice asks Lio Rush, what are you going to do about it? It's 2v1. So as he says this, the camera pans up and you see Trey Miguel as he slings off the top rope and gives both Kendrick and Nice a crossbody. So Lio and Trey work together to send Nice and Kendrick out of the ring. So Tony Nice and Brian Kendrick are one-upped by Lio Rush and his former partner in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and Trey Miguel. So it looks like Lio Rush has some help from Trey Miguel. And for those that didn't know, Trey Miguel and Lio Rush were partners in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And since Lio Rush can't beat Kendrick and Nice 2v1, he needed some help from the Golden Ticket winner and also his on and off partner in Trey Miguel. So Yuri Kotsumatsu comes out in street attire and calls out Tyler Bate. And Tyler Bate comes out, and this is finally where both men go face to face after calling each other out the last couple weeks. Yuri tells Tyler that he hasn't been a single star, or he hasn't really been relevant in the singles category ever since he lost to Pete Dunne all those years ago. He says he needed British strong style and Trent Seven to stay relevant. So Yuri Kotsumatsu kind of digging a little deep here into Tyler Bate. And he says that at TakeOver, Tyler, your friends won't be there to help you out. Tyler takes exception to this, and he gives Yuri Kotsumatsu a slingshot clothesline. And Tyler says, I know what I got myself into because I was the one that called you out. Tyler holds the title and puts it on the body of Yuri Kotsumatsu. So Yuri trying to get a little disrespectful there, and he got hit with the clothesline from Tyler Bate. And Tyler Bate says, I'm not just some pushover, and I'm not gonna let you talk to me just like that. So we'll see what happens with there. But Tyler Bate gets the one up on Yuri Kotsumatsu. In a decent match, Rosemary defeated Kylie Rae in 12:27 by pinfall at the Olympic Slam. Rosemary 63, Kylie Rae, who I'm trying to push, 43. 59, pretty good. Also, this rating is pretty good as well. So Rosemary says your little bodyguard won't save you, yo. I don't care about changing you anymore. This is about vengeance. So she tells Alyssa Flash to go ahead and handle Kylie Rae. So Alyssa Flash goes ahead and chokes out Kylie until Io Shirai comes out. Io says that at TakeOver, this will end once and for all. And then she leaves the ring. But Rosemary says, Io. I might want revenge on you. But I want Kimiko as well for getting her nose into my business. Io accepts on both of their behalves. So it looks like we're going to begin Rosemary and Alyssa Flash versus Io Shirai and Kimiko Asahara. And remember, we still don't know who this her is. Could the her be Rosemary and some elaborate plot? I don't know, we'll see. But 86 is pretty good, and it seems like TakeOver is shaping up to be quite a good card. Pretty good segment. So Renee Michelle is with Kathy Kelly, and Renee says she knows that she's lost some important matches in NXT, but that doesn't mean that she's going to be a stepping stone. And Robert Ben comes in and says, that's what exactly you are. You're a stepping stone for the Robert Stone brand and for the Beautiful People. Robert says next week the Beautiful People will make their debut as a trio, and Renee can watch from where she's best at, from catering. He walks off as Renee and Kathy are disgusted as he basically just interrupted their interview, and he went ahead and just disrespected Renee Michelle. So Beautiful People will make their in-ring debut as a trio next week, but Robert Stone, it looks like Renee is still having issues with the Robert Stone brand. 77. So Tenille Dashwood barges into William Regal's office, and he says that if Rhea won't pay attention to her on TV, maybe she will on TakeOver. So Regal looks surprised and happy at this because Rhea versus Tenille Dashwood, who's going to say no to that? And so he makes the match. So we have Santos versus Adam, Kimiko, Io versus Alyssa and Rosemary. Now we got Tenille Dashwood versus Rhea Ripley. That's a pretty good card if you ask me. Pete Dunne, the no-nonsense bruiserweight that he is, he comes out and says, Keith, you know why I'm out here. And that's for the NXT Television Championship. So come out here right now. Keith Lee comes out, not in a good mood. He hands the title to the referee, all serious. When the bell's about to start, Malcolm Bivens and Everrise come out to watch from commentary. So in our main event, it will be Pete Dunne versus Keith Lee. Oh man, they don't click. I had a feeling that they didn't. And about that had great heat and decent wrestling. Keith Lee defeated Pete Dunne in 16:22 by pinfall with the power slam, following botched interference from Chase Parker. So it looks like Everrise stuck their nose in Pete Dunne's business and cost them the match. Keith Lee 61, Pete Dunne 53. I booked this match not mostly for the rating, but mostly because of the storyline. These two feuded when I was on TEW 2016, and for some reason I had a feeling that they didn't click, but I didn't remember. But when booking this match, I was right in my assumption that they didn't click. But 62, it's still decent. It was better than 58 from last week. But hopefully the closing ratings can help this show. But Keith Lee retains, but Pete Dunne just lost because of Malcolm Bivens and Everrise. So Pete Dunne is pissed. At Malcolm for costing him the match and that championship. Pete Dunne gives Chase, who stuck his nose in Pete Dunne's business, a bitter end and walks off. As Pete Dunne walks away, the announcers hype up that we will see the beautiful people debut next week as a trio, and we'll have a special look into Michelle Thomas, formerly known as Santana Garrett. So Michelle Thomas got a gimmick change and got an initial rating of adequate. So what's happening with Michelle Thomas? You have to see and find out next week. But the beautiful people will be here in trios action next week, and we'll have a special look into Michelle Thomas. But the show closes off with a bang. So Ilya Dragunov tells Dragon Lee that if you want to fight me so much, here I am. And Dragon Lee, all he needed was this. So he bull rushes into the ring and jumps on Ilya. Both men go back and forth until Dragon Lee gets the upper hand from behind. He gets uppercut out of nowhere from Marcel Bartel. Alexander Wolf comes down and starts laying some shots into Dragon Lee. Marcel Bartel and Alexander Wolf give Dragon Lee a European bomb as Ilya Dragunov smiles as Marcel Bartel, he, and Alexander Wolf stand tall to close the show. So is Ilya Dragunov part of Imperium? I don't know. But why did they just help him out? And it looks like we just have a little mini alliance between Ilya, Marcel, and Alexander Wolf. But man, looks like Dragon Lee's being outnumbered at this point. Alexander Wolf got an initial rating of 4, that sucks. But Marcel Bartel got an initial rating of adequate, so that's pretty good. So Imperium are helping out Ilya Dragunov? What sense does that make? We'll have to see next week. But the show gets a rating of 75. Pretty good rating. I was hoping that the main event would have been better. Hopefully the main events be better, because at 70% of my rating, I'm pretty sure I would have had a better rating if the main event was better. But tell me what you thought down below. The card is shaping up to be pretty good. We have some intrigue with Kamiko Asahara, Io Shirai, Adam Santos, Pete Keith, Imperium returning and helping out Ilya Dragunov. So we'll see what happens there. Tenille and Rhea Ripley still have their issues. So we'll see what happens next week. But the card's shaping up to be good for NXT TakeOver in your house. And that's going to be for the Inferno brand. So tell me what you thought about the show down below. Alright, see you when I see you. Have a blessed one. Peace.